Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle and I have bad news. Victober is over. I can't even believe Victober is over for another year. It was such a great month of reading Victorian literature, and I read way more than I thought I would of Victorian books. It was such a great reading month for me. It was so good. So I'm going to tell you about the books that I read in the last week of October, and then I'm going to do like a little brief rundown of what Victober looked like for me. So I had plans to finish these 3 books in the last week of October, and if I didn't get some exciting visitors, it would have happened. But it worked out that my parents were able to come for a visit, so I didn't read nearly as much as I had intended to for the last week of October, and I am totally fine with that. My parents live in the next province over to the west. They live in Alberta, and with COVID and then my chemo, I haven't seen them for 2 years. So it was super, super exciting that they were able to come for a visit, and we had a really great time. But that does mean I didn't get everything read that I had planned to. I did read and I did finish Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is from 1897. This was a reread for me, and I really enjoyed Dracula. It's a good story. It's interesting, I mentioned this when I talked about the Beetle last week, but Dracula is one of those Victorian novels that I can't read as fast, and I'm not entirely sure why, but I still really enjoyed it. I love that it's an epistolary novel, so it's written in letters and journal entries, and I really do enjoy that way of telling the story. The main characters are Jonathan Harker, his wife Mina, Mina's friend Lucy, and her fiance Arthur, Dr. Seward, Van Helsing, and Quincy Morris. And so it's this great cast of characters in this book. I also thought it was hilarious. There was this one section where they talk about doing blood transfusions, that when Van Helsing arrives to help, and Lucy, Dracula has been feeding on Lucy, and so the solution that Van Helsing comes up with is to give her blood transfusions. And the only qualifications are that the blood that she is given comes from someone young and strong. So I thought that was hilarious. And of course it works. There's no issues with, making sure blood types are the same or anything. And she gets blood from at least three different people. And there's never a problem, which is hilarious. But of course, Bram Stoker didn't know at the time any better. So I just thought that was funny. Here's a quote from the beginning. This is when we're reading from Jonathan Harker's journal entries. What manner of man is this? Or what manner of creature is it in the semblance of man? I feel the dread of this horrible place overpowering me. I am in fear, in awful fear, and there is no escape for me. I am encompassed about with terrors that I dare not think of. That's him describing Dracula and Dracula's castle. So yeah, I enjoyed my reread of Dracula. But then I did not finish Wuthering Heights, and I'm about 50 pages in, so I've got about 150 pages to go, and that's okay. About 200 pages to go. That's fine. I'm just going to keep reading it. This is a reread for me, and I really enjoyed getting back into this story. I love how atmospheric this story is. It's very Gothic and moody, and I'm really enjoying rereading this. So I will continue, and I will just talk about it in one of my upcoming reading roundups. I also did not finish Gothic Tales by Elizabeth Gaskell, and I haven't read any further. The story that I'm on, that I will start next, is Lois the Witch, and I'm really interested in that one. It's because it's a story set in Salem in Massachusetts, and I think that's very interesting. So yeah, I will continue this, and I will talk about it on an upcoming reading roundup. And then I'm also continuing with the Invention of Murder, and this is good because we're heading into nonfiction November. So I will talk about this. This is my nonfiction November pick for this year, and I've been really enjoying this book, and so I am looking forward to continuing on and finishing it in November. Okay, so let's talk about my kind of how many books I read for Victober. I read The Diary of a Nobody by George and Weedon Grossmith, The Legacy of Cain by Wilkie Collins, Old St. Paul's by William Harrison Ainsworth, which was fantastic. I think of all of my reads, no, I'm going to say it was my second favorite. The Female Detective, The Beetle, so we're on 6 now, and Dracula. So I read 7 Victorian novels during the month of October, and I started 2 more. So I think that is pretty impressive. My favorite read of the month was The Beetle by Richard Marsh. That was unexpected. I'd never read anything by him before, but I really enjoyed that book. It was really, really entertaining to read. And then my second favorite read was Old St. Paul's by William Harrison Ainsworth, about set in London during the year of the plague and then the year of the Great Fire. And it was so good. So yeah, I had a fantastic reading month. There was no book that I put down because I didn't want to read it. There wasn't really a book that I had to plow my way through because I really wasn't enjoying it. It was a great, great reading month. And so thanks very much to all the hosts. And I am already kind of thinking about what I might read for next year. So what do you think? Have you read any of the books that I have talked about in this video? How was your Victober? I would love to know, what did you read in October for Victober? And I will see you for another video soon.